Welcome back to Wines du Jour. We're having a good time here, tasting some of this Pinot Noir and some of this food. Now, what you may not have recognized when they brought out the nice plate that had a piece of crusty bread on it, that's called a crostini in Italian. That just means that that bread has been put in the oven and toasted for a little while, and then they take it out. In the meantime, they take some red bell peppers and slice them, julienne them if you will, slice them very, very thin with a little bit of garlic, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and they take a little bit of flank steak, put it on the grill it till it's medium at the most. Medium rare is more advantageous, but whatever you can handle. Slice it on the bias. That means not straight up and down, it means on an angle and across the grain. Don't slice it with the grain, it'll be tough as shoe leather. You cut it cross grain on the angle, you'll get it in nice little thin pieces and it'll be nice and tasty. Sit all of that, the roasted red bell pepper, the garlic and everything, along with the flank steak on top of the crostini, and you've got something that's pretty tasty. Then a little bit of blue cheese on top of that you've crumbled, and take a sip of that Pinot Noir with that combination, and I think you'll say, hey, this is good and I can do this at home. And it's true, you can, no problem. Now, some of you go to an Italian restaurant and they bring out what we're calling crostini right now, but it has little grill marks on it. You say, wait a minute, I thought it went in the oven. How did it get grill marks? Well, because they didn't make crostini. What did they make? Bruschetta. It's the same piece of bread, folks. It's either baked or it's grilled. If it's grilled, it's called bruschetta. If it's baked, it's called crostini. It's that simple. It's the same bread. No problem, okay? Just so you know. You know more probably than the food server, because a lot of those don't know that. But that is a fact. So this crostini that we had with the flank steak and this Pinot Noir, I think was a very, very good match. But in addition to that, there's other things that Pinot Noir goes very well with, in my opinion, and here are some of them. It's great with grilled salmon. Not poached, not baked, but grilled salmon. Pinot is very, very good with that. It also goes very well with pork tenderloin. Now, you know, you can buy those little pork tenderloins, the little long skinny ones for $5 or something in the store. Put a little extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, and put it on the grill and grill it until it's about medium. Take it off, let it sit for a couple of minutes, slice it just like you did the meat here, and put it on a crostini, and you've got yourself a great appetizer, very inexpensive, and you can serve that Pinot Noir with it. And also, almost any kind of what I would call a good cut of red meat. Now, a good cut, like filet mignon. You know, when you buy a filet mignon, so many people say, oh my God, it's expensive. Well, it is. It's the most tender part of the entire beef, no doubt about it. But you don't have to have 7 or 8 or 9 ounces per person. You can have half that. So if you got, let's just say there's 2 of you, and you bought one that's about 3/4 of a pound in weight, it doesn't kill the pank, and you cook it, but when you take it off the grill or out of the oven, however you're cooking it, you slice it and put half the slices on his plate and half the slices on her plate, and you're both having great filet mignon, reasonable price, and a nice bottle of Pinot Noir. Not too shabby, if you know what I'm saying. So 13.5% by volume, that's good. So let's move on now to wine number 3, which is our last and final wine from Parducci. And I just want to tell you, Parducci Cellars is one of my favorite places, and it's not a joke. It's not because they're a guest here, because every week we have a different guest, and everybody knows I don't sell wine or anything. So it has only to do with taste and flavor and the way they handle. They have pride up there. And I'm telling you, in Mendocino, if you have an opportunity to go there and taste wines, make sure that you go to Parducci Cellars and taste some of the wine there, because you will be very pleasantly surprised. And then when you say how much, you won't be shocked, unless cheap is shocking, because it'll be less than what you think it's going to be if you were in Napa tasting the same wine, if you know what I'm saying. Okay? That's just the way it is. Now, with the third wine, our Cabernet Sauvignon, we're talking about a 2009 Cabernet Sauvignon from Mendocino, and the food that's going to go with this is one of my favorite things. And boy, if you ever have a party, you can get a couple hundred of those, what I'm about to tell you, those lamb chops, and cook them up, and your people will be thrilled with what you've got. They're very, very good. So this is an Australian lamb chop. It's very small. That's what makes it great for doing tastings or doing appetizers. And it has a little bit of the red sauce with it from the Cabernet. So they have a Cabernet sauce. And I think I told you earlier, I'll tell you real quick how to make a Cabernet sauce, because it's not difficult at all. And all you need is a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon that you like. And remember, you don't ever cook with something that you wouldn't drink. So if it's good enough to drink, it's good enough to cook with. That does not mean that you have to buy the most expensive wine in the store to cook with. That is not at all what I mean. What I am saying is the $5.99 or the $6.99 to cook with, and the $15 or $20 or $25 bottle of wine is not the combination that you want to have, because how could that food that you're going to prepare with that $6.99 bottle of wine taste as good as it could? No chance, period. Okay? So, without dwelling on that, let's just talk about the Cabernet Sauvignon and this lamb chop. Now, to make the Cabernet sauce, let's say you take half a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon and put it in a sauce pot, turn the heat on, bring it up to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, turn it down to a simmer and let it reduce from 1 cup to about half a cup. Put in 2 tablespoons of butter and maybe a tablespoon of cream. Turn the heat off, stir it up, and put it over the top of your lamb chop, and you'll go, holy cow, this is absolutely outstanding. I want to thank you for listening to Wines du Jour, America's #1 wine syndicated radio show. Oh, okay. Well, I want you to do that, and I want to let you know that we're going to be here next time. But we've got a little bit of time to go, so we're going to go to a break. When we come back, I'll talk a little bit more about this Pinot Noir, this Cabernet, and more importantly about this lamb, because there's some things about lamb I think you should know that maybe you don't. We'll talk about it. So we'll be back coast to coast and around the world on the internet right here at Grape Street Cafe when we return. Be back in just a moment.
Upgrade to DirecTV today and get the best offer ever. Get over 150 of your favorite channels, and this season of NFL Sunday Ticket is included at no extra charge. You'll get 3 free months of HBO, Starz, Showtime, and Cinemax, 4 free equipment upgrades to an HD DVR, and up to 3 HD receivers. And HD is included. Plus, lock in not 1, but 2 years of savings. This offer won't last long. Upgrade today and get the best offer ever with DirecTV.